Hello my keto peeps, it's Samaya and welcome back to my channel, I Don't Sugarcoat. Today, I'm going to show you guys how I make keto monkey bread. So let's get started. Today's video is sponsored by Wholesome Provision. They are a company that specializes in keto-friendly foods. Please visit their website and check out their list of products. Two of them are now my two favorites and are a staple in my kitchen, and that is their Lupin Flour and their Allulose sweetener blend. I am really liking these products and I'm really liking incorporating them into my recipes, and I'll be using both of them today. I'll leave a link for their website in the description of this video, but you can also check out some of their products on Amazon. So please visit either site and check out their stuff for yourself. Now let's jump into this recipe. All right, we're gonna begin by using, I'm using my bread machine today. I'm trying to get comfortable with using bread machines because I know a lot of you use them and I wanna start creating more recipes using this, but sometimes I won't use it. But today I will be using it just to mix the bread, mostly because I find it to be an easy cleanup, you guys. All right, so I'm gonna start off by adding 1/4 cup of non-dairy milk, and I'm using cashew milk. You guys know that's my favorite. And this is at 130 degrees, and I'm going to be adding this to the pan here. If you're using a stand mixer, go ahead and add it to your stand mixer bowl. Next, I'm going to be adding 1 tablespoon of instant rise yeast. Now, I feel the instant rise yeast works best in these recipes, but if you're using a different type of yeast, make sure you proof it and let it sit for a few minutes to let it bubble up, and that way you know that it is ready and it's active. And now I'm going to be adding 1 teaspoon of honey, and I'm just going to eyeball that, you guys. And I know most bread machines tell you to put the yeast in on top at the end, but I'm just accustomed to doing it this way, so I continue to do it this way. And so I'm just gonna give that just a quick mix. And now I'm gonna add two room temperature lightly beaten eggs to the mixture. And now I'm adding 2 tablespoons of room temperature butter. And now I'm going to begin adding my dry ingredients here. And so I'm going to start off with 1 1/4 cup of vital wheat gluten. And now you can pre-mix all the flours together if you want. I've been playing around with doing it this way to see if it makes a difference, if I add the flour separately or is it best to add them at once. But I find that it still comes out the same, so I'm just going to be adding them separately. And now I'm going to be adding 1/2 cup of some oat fiber. And now I'm going to be adding 2/3 cup of the miracle flour here. And I really like this stuff mostly because it's much paler in color. And so it makes my baked goods look closer to their higher carb counterparts. And now I'm going to be adding 4 tablespoons of this Allulose blend sweetener here, and you can use whatever kind of sweetener you want, but I'm starting to really like using this for certain recipes, so I'll be using that in this one today. And now in my little cup here, I have 1 teaspoon of some pink Himalayan salt. I have a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. I have 2 teaspoons of baking powder. I have 1/2 teaspoon of some Xanthan Gum, and then 1/16 of a teaspoon of Ascorbic Acid. And I'm going to be adding all of that in there. And I know you're probably wondering, why am I adding the baking powder and the baking soda? And that's because I want this to have a much fluffier texture. And adding those to these flours helps it to act more like an all-purpose flour. Okay, so now that that's been added, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this into my bread machine here, and I'm just going to leave it on the white bread setting because I'm just using this to mix all the ingredients together. But about 2 minutes in, I will go in and I will mix it up with a spatula and help everything get all nice and mixed. And then I'll let it continue to knead the dough. And this bread machine kneads the dough for about 40 minutes. Okay, so if you're using your bread machine, just go ahead and use the right white bread setting. I'm pretty certain all machines are a little bit different, so just let it knead however long it's gonna knead for, and then we'll come back once the bread is kneaded, and then I'll show you what we're gonna do next. My dough is finished kneading, and what I've done is I've rolled it out into a rectangle, and this is probably about the size of maybe, if I'm guessing, I'd say maybe 13 by 11. Could be a little shorter, could be a little longer. I'm just guesstimating here, you guys. And so now what I want to do is I'm just gonna cut this with a pizza cutter, and then I'm gonna go in and roll each individual piece into balls. And try to make it as even as you can. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just try to get it as even as you possibly can. Okay, and that looks fine to me. And so now, in this bowl, I have some melted butter. I have a half a cup or 8 tablespoons. So a whole stick of butter I have melted here. And what I wanna do is I just wanna take one of these and I just wanna roll it into a ball, and I'm gonna keep rolling a few. Actually, I'll probably roll all of these up into balls. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'll let this fast forward through, and then we'll come back and get to assembling our monkey bread. So as you can see, all my balls are now finished. They don't have to be rolled out perfectly. This is totally fine because they have to go into this pan and they have to rise up. So we don't need to worry about them being perfect. Just get them into the shape of a ball. And now what we want to do next is we want to go and put several of these into our butter here. And I'm going to put a lid on this and just kind of move them around, just to get some butter on them. And now in here, I have a bag of brown Swerve with some cinnamon. I have 1 cup of brown Swerve and 3 teaspoons of cinnamon. And I'm gonna put these into this bag and shake them up, dust them off, put them into my pan here, my bundt pan that I have buttered and ready to go. Okay, and that worked out perfectly. That looks great. It's nicely covered. That's gonna have some seriously nice flavor to it. And now I'm just gonna put them in the bottom of my pan, and I'm gonna keep going until the whole pan is full. And so I'll get done with this and then we'll come back and I'll show you the next step. Now these look fantastic and they smell great. Now this is a good size pan. It filled up pretty well. And what we want to do now is we want to let these sit and rise for a bit. So I'm going to cover these loosely with a sheet of saran wrap that I have sprayed with a little avocado oil. And I'm going to let mine rise at room temperature. I was using my oven earlier, which has a proof heating function. And so right now my stove's too hot to let it rise in there. I also have a proofing box, but it's not ready. It's not already preheated. And so I'm just going to let these rise at room temperature. My kitchen is pretty warm right now. Trust me, it is warm. So I will let you all know how long it took for these to rise at room temp. Now, if your kitchen is not warm enough to do, for it to sit out, then you can do the microwave method, or if you have a stove that allows you to proof in the stove, then do it that way, or you can do the microwave method that I've spoken about in many of my videos. So I'm gonna go ahead and place these on the counter here and let them start to rise. Now, while those are rising, I'm gonna get a little bit of an icing here prepared. And I know traditional monkey bread doesn't usually have an icing, or at least from the ones that I've always eaten, but I just feel like jazzing this up a little bit. So in my little bowl here, I have 2 ounces of some cream cheese. To this, I'm going to be adding half a cup of that allulose sweetener blend. And I'm going to start off by adding 2 tablespoons of some Silk alternate heavy cream. And I'm using that because I'm trying to keep the carb count low. I don't want to add any more extra carb. And from everything that I've searched, the Silk alternate heavy cream does not have any carbs in it. So I'm going to be using 2 tablespoons, and we'll see what that texture looks like after it gets a good mix here. And you can just do this you can do it with a food processor or a regular blender, or you can even do this with, you know, a small bowl and a hand mixer, not a hand whisk. Sorry guys. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and mix this up, and then we'll see what this texture looks like. Oh, and now this texture is absolutely perfect. It is perfect to just be able to drizzle it on top. I'm gonna let this sit to the side. You don't wanna put this in the refrigerator because you want this to be able to be drizzled over it. And we'll come back and I'll let you see how much they have risen, and then they'll go into the oven, and then we'll finish them up from there. See you back here in a bit. Now these have risen beautifully, and what we want to do next is we want to get these in an oven that has been preheating at 350 degrees, and we're going to bake this for 30 to 35 minutes. And once it's ready, we'll take it out and then we'll complete these. So I'll be back in a bit. They're fresh out of the oven and they look and smell amazing. So what we want to do now is get this flipped over onto a plate, and then we're going to drizzle our icing on top. Make sure you use a plate that's going to cover the pan, and make sure you use oven mitts because it's going to be hot. You want to get it out of there while it's hot. And I'm just giving it a few light taps just to make sure it all comes out. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Oh, it looks so incredible. And they smell even better. And now I've got some that are kind of wanting to fall apart and fall away, but that's fine. So I'm going to take my icing here, and you might need to add a little extra cream to it. I know I did, but it was really just a little bit, like a teaspoon or so. And so now just drizzle that on. Oh, you guys. This is absolutely gorgeous. You might hear my dog's little feet chicking around in here. I'm sorry. Okay, you guys. Oh, I'm so excited because this looks amazing. It looks super good, and I wish I could dig into this right now and try this for you guys, but it's not my eating window yet. So I'm gonna have my daughter come over here and try one of these for you guys so she can tell you what she thinks. But this, it smells absolutely fantastic. And your kids are going to love these. Janiyah, come over here, try one of these. Don't be camera shy, you were begging to eat it earlier. So now I got a little fork here, and I'm just gonna pop one of these ones off that's trying to come off here anyway. Ho, ho, ho. And just dip that. Oh, I'm gonna have a couple, 2 or 3 of these after my eating window. Now it's very hot. It just came out Try it and tell me what you think. You hand it to me, it's hot. Okay, I guess that is an indication of what she thinks about it. You can't leave, you didn't say anything. Oh my, it's so hard finding good help, you guys. All right, well, as you can see, she totally just scarfed that bite down and it was hot and all. That's how good these babies are. You're gonna love them, your kids are gonna love them. Anybody you serve these to, they're going to love them. So I'm gonna leave the nutritional facts for this recipe in the description of the video. And I think that's gonna be it, you guys. I'm gonna have to cut out of here now. I've got bad weather coming my way, you guys, and I've already lost power twice during this shoot, so I'm gonna wrap this up. So if you guys like this video, go ahead and give me a big thumbs up. If you guys want to see more videos like this, don't forget to click that subscribe button and don't forget to ding that little bell so you can get notifications every time I upload a new video. And until next time, you guys, bye.